How good does it get, SK?
Why not us, Charlie?
Today, live from the Pinecrest Inn, it's the Smylie Show. So long, everybody.
This is the Smylie Show.
All right, guys, we'd like to welcome in the most recent winner on the PGA Tour and doing it in fashion. Signature event in Riviera, Jacob Bridgeman. Congratulations. I imagine your first PGA Tour win, doing it at a place like that, had to be quite incredible. It's only been a couple days since the win. I imagine you've gotten a lot of great texts, but probably no greater texts than the PGA Tour text of how much cash you just made that last week. I mean, just insane, right?
Yeah, I honestly had no idea what the winning portion was. I thought it was like all the other ones that was 3.6. I was pretty shocked. I didn't see the text until the next day, and I actually had to search for it because I had like 1,050 texts or something.
Oh my gosh, that had to be so fun to get that text. I would have it on Wowed on my phone, and just hopefully I can change my ringer to the cash symbol. Just the entire time, just waiting for that to come through. But what about some other text messages that you've received from people that you've had to scroll through these 1,000 texts that have been pretty cool?
Yeah, I've probably made it through maybe a third of them so far. I feel like this week I've wanted to just chill and take some time off. But I became close with Kyle Lowry recently. I played a pro with him last year, and then saw him at Waste Management, went to the game. He sent me a nice text during the round, and then another one after the round, talking about how stressed he was and all this stuff. And I met Kyle Raleigh at Waste Management. He sent me a nice text.
Wow.
I think he sent me a Mariners bat in the mail, which is
Did
kind
he?
of cool. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
I'm
And
looking forward to
you're a
checking that out.
baseball guy. I mean,
Yeah.
I know you
like
grew
all that
up
stuff.
playing baseball, so getting a bat from one of the best players in the league right now. I mean, how cool is that?
I think his nickname's Big Dumper. It's hilarious. we play the pro-am with him, and everyone's yelling Big Dumper.
Big
and
Dumper.
It's just the funniest nickname of all time.
Any other
Very nice guy.
Clemson texts?
Let me think. I know I got them. You saw the message from Trevor Lawrence and Dabo.
Oh, Trevor
Those were
too.
pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't made it far enough to check them out, but it's been I've seen quite a bit of the invites to collab on Instagram. There's been like 50 of those. Got to sort through those to see which ones I want to show on my page, but. Yeah, it's been quite the few days.
Well, it's a lot of great problems to have. You know, winning on the PGA Tour, it comes with fame, dealing with a lot of text, but also let's kind of dive into the week of Riviera. So you've obviously got off to a great start this 2026 season, and I think if you would have looked at it, you could have seen Jacob Bridgeman having a breakout week at Riviera. But did you feel that way coming into the week?
No, not really. At Pebble, I felt like, I think I said this in one of my interviews, I felt like I faked it the whole week. The first day I played great and everything felt good, but over the course of the week, I'd hit so many shots in the wind where I was just taking the club back about halfway and chipping them. And then when I had to step up and hit a driver, I had no idea where the ball was going. So like at Spyglass, I think I hit maybe 3 or 4 fairways and shot 7 under just because the rough was nothing. And it honestly was better to miss in the rough because the greens were so soft. I could just hit and plug it. And my putter was just acting the way it was supposed to, I guess.
That's good.
As most golfers would say. It wasn't doing anything wrong. It was making a lot of putts. So I somehow got myself in contention that week, and driver, I would say a little bit let me down coming down the stretch, but not anything crazy. But I didn't expect to hit it the way I did at Riv the following week, especially since I didn't do really that much prep on the range. I was just kind of worn out. I wanted to rest.
Right.
I had maybe an hour and a half with Scott Hamilton to just kind of work through things and reset.
Did you find anything?
Yeah, I think the main thing was I was getting so short and tight in my swing from hitting little punch shots that we just needed to widen and slow down the rhythm.
Wow.
And it was like an instant click, I guess. I hit it okay in the Pro-Am.
Yeah.
And then Thursday through Sunday, I just striped it.
Was that the first time you've ever stepped foot on property at Riviera?
Mm-hmm.
So what was your first impressions, going around a golf course like this that I'm sure you watched on TV plenty of times, but it's a place that, did it fit your eye? When you got out there, did it seem like a place that you could go out and do what you did?
Yeah, it was a full rain out Monday. Rained like 3 inches. I think they only get 12 a year. So that was like a fourth of the.
You're like, all right, same thing as last week. I'm going to be having to deal with spin control.
Yeah, it was crazy. And I think that was a blessing in disguise, all the rain that we got, because it softened up the course. And I don't know. I haven't played the firm Riviera yet, but it makes me think that you need a little bit more experience to have success there, knowing all the slopes, knowing how the ball was going to react and some bad spots. But the way it was played so soft, I mean, you could hit it short sided and just hit a normal chip and it would just hit and stop. So I think that helped me out a bit, especially early in the week when I had to try and learn the place. I hit it in a few bad spots and I was able to get out of it.
Anything at 10?
I was probably the first person to ever get up and down short of the bunker to the right pin on 10.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I mean,
that is stupid. You can't miss right at the 10th hole at Riviera, especially short right.
I mean,
was
double.
it just a straight up in the air flopper? Or did you hit it with a bunch of spin sitting on top of the Kikuyu rough?
Yeah, so I was thinking, you know, I've seen this course a million times, and I'm like, this is the worst spot you can possibly be in. I'm going to hit it in the back bunker, you know? So I just tried to hit it as high as I possibly could, and it landed probably 3 feet over the bunker and plugged. And I was like,
wow,
you couldn't have rolled out at least 3 feet.
That's not the 10th hole at Riviera.
Yeah.
That's an imposter. That's not supposed to happen, but great up and down.
Yeah, that one was sweet. And then I chipped a 9-iron out from under a tree. I think my head was like in the tree. And
what hole?
On 10.
Oh,
on 10. Yeah, same hole. There was a lot that went down that hole.
Okay.
And I tried to lay it up like 15 feet right.
Yeah.
And G-Dub kept telling me, this thing goes further left than you think. It goes further left than you think. I was like, all right, man, whatever. I got it, you know. And I hit it, and I was trying to hit it 15 feet right, and it went to 3 feet. So that kind of worked out nice in my favor. But overall, I loved the course. I really enjoyed getting to know it kind of as the week went on. Thursday felt like my first real practice round because Wednesday was going so fast. We're entertaining, you know, playing 18-hole pro-am, kind of grueling. Thursday, I got to know it and figured out where I didn't need to hit it. And then, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I just hit it so good it didn't really matter.
Gosh, Saturday, man. That ball striking clinic that you put on Saturday, have you ever had a ball striking round like that where you've hit it that good?
Not that good. I think my perspective's probably changed now because I expect a little bit better. But the only thing I could compare it to is back in college, right after COVID, we were all itching to play. We hadn't played a golf tournament in like a year. And we played down at a course in Panama City. I can't remember the name of it, but Florida State hosted.
Oh,
Water Sound something.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
Whatever the course was
I
called.
think Davis Love's got it might be the one that he did down there.
Okay. It was very challenging. And I was, for whatever reason, just hitting it perfect. And I made one bogey in 54 holes. It was a 3-putt. I was furious because I missed.
Especially you're a great putter too.
I misread it like 5 feet to the right and then missed the 5-footer. And that was the only bogey of the week. I hit it everywhere I was looking. I won by like 8 or 9 or something.
Just perfect execution.
Yeah. Like that until this past week was like my best tournament ever.
I mean, you gained 6 shots approach on Saturday. And I think the best part about it is that Tiger Woods was in the booth watching it. Did you happen to see the clips of Tiger reacting to some of those shots that you hit? The one that comes to mind was, I believe, was it a 7-wood you hit into the 11th hole, that par 5? And he's like, yeah, I can't do that. It's like, I mean, how cool is it to have Tiger Woods say that, right?
Yeah, I mean, the guy that I've grown up watching my whole career, pretty much from, you know, when I was born in December of 99. That was when he was in his peak. And from my youngest memories, I was watching Tiger win majors on TV.
You and I both.
So my idol growing up, you know, the best player to ever do it. And I saw a couple clips. I think I have the coverage recorded. I might go back and watch the hour he was sitting in the booth just to see kind of some of the other ones and see a little bit more of what he says. But
it's the best.
That shot on 11 was crazy.
Okay, so you finish the night on Saturday. Well, how many stroke lead do you have going into Sunday?
6.
6-stroke lead. That kind of is a nightmare, right? Like because all you can think about is just getting to the finish line, getting to the tee time. You're playing with Rory McIlroy. How are you able to get into the proper mindset to set goals to where you don't get ahead of yourself? Because I imagine it's so easy to think about getting to the 18th hole with a 6-shot lead, a stress-free day, walking up to the top of the hill, greeted with a nice iced tea and lemonade, shaking not Arnold Palmer's hand, Tiger Woods' hands. I mean, I imagine you're thinking about that all night, right?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely imagined kind of what I thought the day would look like, and I've never been one to kind of shy away from. People always say, "Oh, don't imagine holding the trophy or don't whatever until the tournament's over," and I've always been one to not shy away from that. I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna dream about those things. I always look at the scoreboards. I want to know exactly what the leaderboard says, and so I imagined kind of what I thought it was going to be, and I said it's not going to be easy tomorrow. It's going to be challenging. I know something bad's going to happen. I just don't know what's going to happen yet. But
how do you prepare yourself for that?
I don't think you really can, but you just have to be okay with, when that thing happens, not letting it boil over into something else. And I think I imagined my day ending with a 4-shot lead going up 18 instead of 1. But I was super calm kind of the whole day until right at the end. But kind of the thing that kept playing in my mind was me and my wife the night before. Like she didn't really want to talk about it. I think she was scared of mentioning it. And the thing that kept coming up is like, the story's already written. I just got to go do my best and see what the story is, So that was kind of my thing. I'm like, this, whatever's going to happen is already decided. And I've just got to go and play the way that I know how and, see what that story is. It's a surprise to me too. So, I would have wished that it was a little bit more of a smooth finish, but I mean, I was super calm all day. I felt like things just weren't really going my way from a scoring sense. But from the rest of the field, things were going my way. Like guys were missing putts. Guys weren't making moves until late. So I think Kurt helped me a lot by not making some of those short putts that he missed. And then Rory played amazing and just didn't get the putts to fall. They were just bouncing out. He was hitting awesome putts. So a couple of those things went my way more than that overshadowed the ones that didn't go my way for my putts and stuff like that. But there was, I guess the only thing I was shocked by was everything was smooth sailing. I got to number 11 and I hit a drive perfect. And I get up there and there's mud on the front right of my ball. And it's just one of those
Something
where you
can't control.
One of those, it's going left, like hard. And back right pin, can't miss it right. I'm like, look, I can't aim this right of the hole. If it goes straight, I'm going to kick myself. And I aimed it at the hole and flushed it, and it went 50 yards left.
Oh, gosh. It's the first time you start to spin a little bit?
That was the first time I pretty much all week where something had really gone not according to plan, which is crazy to say. But even though at that point, nothing, I wasn't scrambling at all in my head. I was still leading by a ton and was playing great golf. So I kind of just took it for what it was. And then the next hole, Rory hit a bad drive and hacked it out in the front bunker and made a 50-yard bunker shot.
I mean, how good was that?
It was incredible. I mean, it was up under the lip. Greens are soft. You got to fly it all the way there. He flew it 6 feet short. It kind of just hopped, checked a little bit, and rolled right in the cup. And I mean, it was the perfect shot ever.
It's so good, right?
Yeah, I need to ask him maybe next time I see him how you hit that, because I have no idea. I have no idea.
Just silly. And how much did it help you to play with Rory McIlroy at the BMW Championship the year prior, when you're in another big time situation where you're trying to make the Tour Championship and you need a good round on Sunday just to confirm it, to do it alongside him that day? Did that give you a little bit of just confidence heading into today that you've stood and played with one of the game's best players?
Yeah, I definitely. I would say that day I was more nervous overall than I was.
There's so much on the line.
Than I was at Riviera. So, I'm trying to make the Tour Championship my first year with the chance to do that, and I'm playing along Rory with thousands of people watching. But what I didn't prepare for was that the fans didn't care what I was doing, which was a blessing. He was making birdies, whatever, they were cheering, and then when he got done, they were just moving on. They didn't even care what I was doing, so I had really no eyes on me, no pressure. And I ended up playing fine, getting through and securing my spot. But I think that gave me kind of a preview of what it is like with Rory. He was great to me, super nice, kind of comforting at times.
Yeah.
Which I didn't really expect, but I appreciated a lot.
What about after the bunker shot? Did it be like, all right, game on?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I'd been so confident over the putter that week that there was probably 4 or 5 times that day where I got over putt and I, in my mind, knew that the putt was going in, and they didn't go in. And that's really weird because normally those equal birdies. And for whatever reason, that hole, I was like, I know I'm making this putt. And he made it, so I, came over, gave him a high five, and I'm like, whatever, I'm gonna make this putt too. And I hit a great putt, and it bumped out at the end.
Okay,
man,
yeah.
There's something I didn't see.
I want to ask you about Poana greens too, because anybody listening now knows you got a good little southern draw on you. I would have guessed your first PGA Tour win would have been on some nice bent or some nice Bermuda, but you won on Poana. And of course, your great putters travel everywhere. You can putt good on any surface, but Poana, is something that maybe you've not been growing up with or familiar with, but still had, just an incredible week on it. Is it something you've always been able to putt well on?
So I think my first experience with Poana was the Sunny Hannah Amateur back in
Me and you
college,
both.
and I had no idea what to do. The greens were crazy there anyway. And then my probably next one, I guess, would have been Oakmont in the USAM. And I think those greens were so fast and pure that it didn't really matter. So when I turned pro, I went to the West Coast and started playing on Poana greens and had no idea what to do. I mean, I putted horrible at the Farmers Insurance. Played there twice, finished like 78th and missed the cut. Hated it. I said I'm not going back. Skipped it this year. And then I went to Pebble and I'm on the putting green asking guys, hey, what are you going to do? Like, what do you do differently on these greens? And everyone said nothing.
So you got no,
and I'm like,
I got no answer. Nobody helped.
I got no answers. I'm like, I know that I'm a good putter. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I can't figure these things out. So I finally went and talked to the TaylorMade guys. I was about to switch putters and get more loft because I thought maybe that was the answer. So we did some testing and realized that my ball launches kind of perfectly for Poana, and I just didn't know. And I think it was more of a mental thing for me that I would miss a couple putts and see the bounces and not like it because I've always been one that I want to make the putt. I don't want to be at the liberty of the bounces on the green. So I think it was more of a mindset of understanding not every putt's going to go in, but some might bump in, and just rolling with it. And I putted great at Pebble and
Almost
putted
gives you that
great at
conviction,
Riv.
right? Just like that back of your mind. It's like, hey, no, this is the right putter, and my ball is rolling great, and I am a good putter.
And I needed that. I needed that confirmation because I thought everything was wrong. I thought I was the worst ever, and I just needed a little bit of confidence, I think.
And Charlie's going to join us later in this interview for some questions, but I also think that Charlie almost lost you the golf tournament. And I say that because when you hit the green at the 18th hole, he said, congratulations to Jacob Bridgeman. And I said, oh boy, that could have been the kiss of death. And when you left that putt about 3.5, 4 feet short, I said, oh boy, we got ourselves an interesting situation developing. Did it feel that way in your hands and in your mind approaching that putt on the last hole? When you stood over it, did you know you were going to make it?
So I think we got to go back to 16. I had a 5-footer for bogey.
That was a big one.
And that was the first moment of the day where I was nervous.
Yeah.
And I'm standing over that putt, and that was when my hands started to feel a little bit weird. Like as a golfer, you have this feel, you know exactly how hard to hit the putt, and I didn't know. And I just hit it, and it went in. And I'm like, all right,
okay,
cool, got it. And then the next hole, fine. I felt good with full swings, and then I got over the putt, like maybe an 18, 20 footer, and I had no idea how hard to hit it. And I left it way short. My hands felt like noodles, and I was just like, I don't know what to do, and just hit it. And same kind of thing, left it way short, knocked the next one in. And then when we got to 18, I was fully expecting to be about 40 feet short because it was in between a 7 and a 6 iron. Was not going to hit like a little soft cut in there. So we went ahead and smashed the 7 and ended up going way further than we thought. But I get up there and I'm like, oh, this is 20 footer. This is easy. This is the best case scenario ever. Yes. I can 2-putt straight up the hill, tournament's over, go tap it in. I can mark it at 4 inches. And then Rory makes it.
Did that affect you at all? Like, did it almost kind of unsettle you a little bit?
No, but I think it got the crowd going. And
then it
I'll
just
tell
got
you in a second,
so quiet.
He makes the putt. They go nuts. I try to talk to G-Dub. They're still going nuts. No, he can't hear anything. I'm like, hey, come over here. And he comes over to check it out. He goes, bro, this is dead straight putt. Knock it in. And same kind of thing happens.
We're not too aggressive.
Yeah. Like the only thing going through my mind is like, don't hit it past the hole because downhill on Poe is a nightmare. Mm-hmm. And so when I get over the putt, I'm like, oh, I got this. Take the practice strokes, great. Get over it. No idea what to do. full panic in my head. But I'm like, all right. And I just hit it and noodle hands again.
There goes
way
nothing.
Short. And right when I hit it, like it was obviously short. Everyone knew it. And the crowd starts going, ooh, like they're rooting for Rory. They just saw him make a 30-footer to maybe tie the tournament. And they all kind of start oohing at me. And I think that kind of kicked me in the butt a little bit. I heard that and I'm like, all right, I'm about to show these guys. So I just walked up, marked it, went through my routine as normal. And from there on, I was confident. I think for whatever reason that snapped me out of that freak out mode. And I was like, these people don't think I'm going to make it. I'm going to knock it in dead center. and it was easy.
Did Tiger surprise you at the top of the hill? Was that like something that you almost forgot about, that you got to shake his hand at the top?
I was thinking about it kind of during the day, because a whole day, it sounds weird, I knew I was going to win. I just didn't know how. And the whole day I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. It's going to be like, just like, Jack Nicklaus's event, you walk off the green, shake the hand, and I finish, and I'm like, oh, well, Tiger's not here. Maybe he'll just give me the trophy or something. And then I'm just head down, walking up the stairs, trying to process what's going on. And I look up, and he's like, from me to you. I'm like, oh, Tiger Woods.
What do I say?
And I have no idea I still don't know what I said to him. Only thing I remember is him saying, go get your card signed. And I was like, oh, I forgot about that.
Got it. Yes, that's
Need to do
important.
that.
Make sure that I officially win this golf tournament.
Yeah. So I don't know what I said to him. Maybe he would have an answer, but it was, complete blur.
Yeah, I want to talk about your relationship with your caddy, G-Dub. Getting an experienced caddy like him, who spent many years caddying for Steve Marino on the PGA Tour for all of his big-time play on the PGA Tour. And he's got a ton of experience, seeing plenty of different golf courses, being in a bunch of different situations. But G-Dub also made an investment in you when you got to the Korn Ferry Tour, finishing second on the PGA Tour. It's not easy for an experienced veteran caddy to come back to the Korn Ferry Tour. They don't want to go back to the Korn Ferry, and why would they, right? The difference in pay, and just the chance that, hey, what if Jacob doesn't make it through Korn Ferry Tour in his first year? Then it's like back to square one. Just talk about y'all's relationship and him committing to you in a time in which, he's kind of rolling the dice a little bit.
Yeah, so I think he knew nothing of me when I turned pro. Obviously, when you're tour caddy, you're not worried about the college kids. And when I got out, I was kind of looking around for a caddy, and I asked my agent, Jimmy, who he thought I should have. And I told him what I wanted. And he's like, hey, man, I think it's very important for you to have an experienced caddy, because we bounced around the idea of me bringing a guy from my team. And he's like, I think it's important for you to get an experienced caddy, especially early in your career. And we're going to be playing some tour events. And
his son Gray not do a good job?
Gray did fine, but Gray knew he wasn't in there for long.
I love Gray.
We finished fifth my first week together. But G-Dub, he came out blindly and flew to Maine and met me there and caddy for me in my first Korn Ferry event. And I didn't play very well. I think I finished 60th or something. And for whatever reason, he's like, hey, man, let's do it again. And I think after that summer, we played a couple tour events, and I made some cuts, and I didn't play I hit it very poorly off the tee. I wasn't that good at the time. Yeah. And for whatever reason, he told me at the end of the year, he's like, hey, man, you're going to be really good at this for a long time. And like, we're going to do this together, and let's get ready, because next year is going to be awesome. And I think that little bit of,
he's seen it, right?
His experience on the bag with so many good players. He's caddied in the President's Cup. He's caddied in all the majors. He's won at the highest level. So having that little bit of reassurance in my early career was huge for me. Knowing that he believes in me and has seen everything and knows that I can do it. It didn't make me want to work any harder, like any less hard, but it just made me feel confident. And him coming back to the Korn Ferry, I mean, he's taking if you think about it, the average person on tour is probably 9 million, and the average on the Korn Ferry is 1 million. So he's taking 10% of his regular payment. So he came down knowing he wasn't going to make any money for a year, and kind of took a gamble on me. And that meant a lot to me. And then we became such good friends over the course of, that year on the Korn Ferry. And I think he was, I wouldn't say he was relieved at all when I got my card. I think he was just genuinely pumped for me and for himself. And when we got to the tour, we had the same kind of conversation. He's like, hey, man, you got your tour card, but this isn't it. You're going to be amazing at this game. And it gave me just another boost of confidence. And it took us a year to kind of get going on tour and get our feet wet. But after that, I started to feel comfortable, and I had him alongside me, leading the way, showing me where the range was on each course. I had no idea. I'm calling him, hey, I'm pulling in, show me where the locker room is.
That's right. Where's registration? The whole deal. Where do I get my yardage book? I get it. It's speaking of good friends, the Korn Ferry Tour, Chris Gotterup. Is that, I assume y'all's relationship kind of developed a little bit on the Korn Ferry Tour? Obviously he's gotten off to a great start in 2026, winning a couple times, Sony and Phoenix. Chris said that when y'all got y'all's cards at the very end of the ceremony, he said he sprayed champagne in your eye. Is that true?
Yeah. So we're standing down there doing the card ceremony, and someone hands him a bottle first, and about 5 seconds later, they hand me a bottle. So he's already got the wrapper off, and he pops it. And before I think right when mine popped, it hit me in the eyeball, and I just completely panicked. I just froze, and mine just kind of dribbling out the top, and it's just spraying me in the face. So all the pictures I have of at the card ceremony, my eyes are bloodshot red.
Oh, it's like a bride waiting for their big day, and unfortunately the pictures didn't quite turn out like she would hope.
Yeah.
Not the best closing ceremonies or ending ceremonies of Korn Ferry Tour for you. But still, it's cool to see this young crop of Americans that are coming up. You think about different crops that have come through, like JT, Jordan, Patrick Rogers, that whole group. And then there was the next wave. It was Colin Morikawa, Victor Hovland, Matthew Wolff. And it seems like we're kind of entering a new young American phase here, where you have yourself, Chris Gotterup, you have Akshay Bhatia, Ben Griffin, you have, I got some other guys written down too, Ryan Gerard, Pearson Coody, all guys kind of in their mid-20s that are playing really well on the PGA Tour. For you, a guy like Chris, seeing him win early this season, and really Pearson, how much success he's had, and of course you've played well, did it motivate y'all to see, I know I can beat Chris, and he's already won twice this year. Did it motivate you to win, in coming up early in this season?
I think so. We stay together quite a bit. We've been roomies ever since we turned pro. So I've been at all of his wins except for Myrtle Beach. I teed off at 7 a.m. that day and ended up leaving before he even teed off. So I wasn't there for that one, but I've been at all the other three, and he's an amazing player. I don't think he was shocked at all that he's won multiple times on tour, and neither am I. And I don't think anyone is. He's incredibly talented, and he's just fearless in the moment. And that's why he's kind of captured so many wins here early. But yeah, playing alongside him, I know I can beat him in any day, and he knows the same thing. But yeah, I would be lying if I didn't say, after his last win, I'm like, man, when am I going to win?
Yeah,
sure. Like, we're buddies.
Especially how we won, right?
We see each other as equals, and wait, when am I going to win? And, I couldn't be happier for him. We were there at Waste Management watching it to the very end, and so pumped up. And, I'm saying congrats to you, man. And then we stand together at Pebble, and, he comes over to me. He's like, I think you're going to win soon, and
did you feel that way when he was 7 under through 7 holes to start the event? You're like, well,
maybe
we next week.
Yeah. I thought he was going back to back. I'm like, this guy is on an insane heater. But yeah, he's been amazing to me. A guy like that's had so much success in the last little bit could definitely let it go to his head, and he hasn't. He's been the same Chris that he's always been. And we've had such a great time together, and him welcoming me home into his home, after the win was amazing, and then just kind of cracking jokes the whole week has been awesome. So,
well, I know Jimmy Johnson, your agent, also represents Brandt Snedeker, who of course is the President's Cup captain this year in Chicago at Medina. I'm sure that's something that's going to have to be on your radar. You're leading the FedEx Cup points list right now. Of course, Chris Goddard winning a couple of times too. I mean, is that a potential pairing we're looking at if you were to make that team? I mean, how much would you enjoy wearing the red, white, and blue and having Chris Goddard as a teammate?
Oh, I mean, that would be a dream come true. I haven't done anything of that magnitude, but I played, on the junior, all those President's Cup teams and Arnold Palmer teams, and there's nothing more special than representing the United States. I think wearing the flag on your chest is something that kind of trumps them all. So that's one that I've put on my goals for my career ever since I was a little boy, President's Cup and Ryder Cup. So me and Chris both kind of being in the position very early in the year. We've got quite a few tournaments to play, but that would be one of the more memorable weeks I think ever. If we were to both make it and play together, I think we would have a blast, and I think we'd be a pretty good team.
I bet so, especially with the combination of his driving and your putting, and especially the way you're ironing it. I mean, goodness gracious, that seems like a great team. But you also mentioned more tournaments. You got Augusta on deck coming up very soon, and of course, plenty of other big events. But from Inman, South Carolina, I did a little Google research here on maps to figure out how far away it is. 2 hours and 26 minutes. So I imagine this is a golf tournament that you've been looking forward to playing your entire life. Making it into that event, of course, I guess, was it top 50 they got you in at the end of the year?
Tour championship.
Oh, championship. So this has been something that's been on your mind for quite some time. How excited are you to get on the grounds at Augusta?
Yeah, I mean, that's the one that everyone wants to play, and that's the one that everyone wants to win. Like you mentioned, when I played with Rory at the BMW to try and make the Tour Championship, like I think the thing that was on my head more than the Tour Championship was, if I play good today, I get to play in the Masters. And that is the most exciting thing, that kind of happened to me during the off season. And I was pumped about it the whole time. And, just the idea of getting that invitation in the mail was just incredible. I saw some of my buddies getting it, and I'm like, where's mine? I'm checking the mail twice a day.
You call your agent, like, do they have my right address?
Trying to figure it out. And after, 3 days have gone by and all my friends have gotten it, I'm like, hey, Jimmy, where's mine? And he goes, oh, I've got it at my office. I'll send it to you if you want. I'm like, man, why are you holding out on me?
Come on,
you got to at least tell me what's going on. I'm freaking out here thinking I'm not going to get one. So, that's going to be incredible. I'm
Have you been there before?
About that.
Ever?
I played it twice during college. That was kind of our thing at Clemson, is you get to play it a couple times.
It's a good thing. That's a good thing to have.
Yeah, and it's just a special place. First time I played there, I didn't make a birdie the whole day.
Great.
Made one bogey, 17 pars. I was pretty pumped about it.
Yeah, fun walk.
Yeah, and then second time I played pretty well. So, yeah, I'm pumped to get down there. I think the week is going to be amazing. We've got a lot of family coming in, and try and not let it get too crazy, but I'm going to try to have a good time as well.
I think another unique part about your game, 10-finger grip. So is that from your baseball background as a kid? Because I think so many people would have probably tried to change that at an early age. Who was the mentor, the coach that said, no, this is fine, we can work with this?
Yeah, I think baseball for sure. When I would play baseball, I'd have the thumbs around the bat, and then with golf, all I'd do is switch them on top, and that was just an easy little change, And over time, I started playing enough baseball to where my golf swing just started getting like split, and that was no good.
That could be a problem.
Yeah,
great for hitting flop shots. But.
That made some chunk hooks come.
Yeah.
So, it was never really an issue. I never tried to change. I didn't feel like I needed to. I think the common idea is that 10-finger grip produces a hook, and I've never struggled with a hook. So it hasn't really been a thing. And there was definitely a few people that's like, oh, when you get to college, they're going to change your grip. And Coach Penley, Coach Bird never mentioned it. And I was like, hey, what do you guys think about my grip? You think it's good? Kind of hinting at the idea. And they were like, yeah, looks good. Maybe a little strong, but no problem. Like nothing about the finger. And, it's been good. It feels natural to me. I feel like if anything, my fingers are so scrunched together that it almost plays like an overlap or something. So no big deal.
I wouldn't change it either, especially if I was the Clemson coach and I see that you had 50 rounds in the 60s, which by the way was a Clemson record. And I was asking Jimmy, I was like, what was the one thing that you noticed about Jacob in college? It's like, guy just rolled the rock and was so good at shooting low scores. That was the one thing that he noticed most about you. And Scott Hamilton, of course, by the way, when did you hire Scott? September
of 22. So I'd been a pro for maybe 4 months.
So he's been along your pro journey. And so heading into this year, I'm most curious about what's been the big improvement for you in your iron game, because I saw that Jimmy had texted me and said that you'll try to shorten up your arm swing. You try to get a little bit more width in your golf swing. And Scott had mentioned it's because of your 10-finger grip that it causes a little bit more lean, and that you have to kind of find ways to kind of create a little bit of space. Is that kind of something you've had to always fight a little bit?
I think I didn't know it was an issue until I started working with Scott. And he is just genius. I think he's probably the smartest guy that I've ever met, and you would never guess it just because he doesn't show off or doesn't try to act that way. But yeah, he's been amazing to me. He told me when I first started working with him that he wasn't going to take $1 from me until I made it to the tour. He's like, no, man, I'm going to take you to the tour, and then you can start paying me. So he's been just so generous to me my whole career. And, when I first went down there, I didn't know what he was going to say. I was kind of nervous about if he wanted to change a ton and what, my next few months would be like, because I was going to do it, but I didn't know how it would look. And he said, you've got a little bit of a problem here. He said, but I'm going to change a few things very slowly, and we'll look back in a year and we'll see what it looks like. And
So
I'm
just
like,
incremental
well,
changes.
you know, do I need to go hit a bunch of balls? And he's like, no, just do normal, and it'll change over time. He goes, just trust me. I'm going to do it slowly. And after a year, it looked a little bit different, and I started to get a little better. And then after another year, he changed a few more things, and it started to look a lot better. And then fast forward to, I guess I've had him for 3.5 years now, and the last few weeks on the range, he's come up to me and said, swing looks great, man. Got nothing to say. And I think talking to you about when you were talking about the 10-finger grip, like it does in a way produce leaning of the shaft. So your hands are split a little bit more. So you happen to lean the shaft, and it's strong. So you're going to get a lot of right hand motion in there. That's important to keep that out, and you're going to lean the shaft. So I had a problem with ball flight. My ball would just go low, and I had kind of low spin because of that kind of smothered technique in a sense. And I just couldn't quite compete with the guys with like a 4 and 5 iron. They were going too low. So that was kind of our main emphasis. And we started with just lofting up my irons and trying, fix it without doing anything.
Ball, right?
Yeah. And switching to a new ball, and everything was great. And then kind of over time, I've come back to regular lofted irons because I had the ability to hit them up now. So it was a lot of shortening the length of my swing at the top, but without my wrist kind of cocking. So I had a ton of shoulder turn. I still do. But if my wrists don't set, like I'm really wide and I'm able to deliver the club more straight up and down. And the more I lag it, the more it leans. So
yes. You hit things thin, they come out lower.
Yeah, and it's just miss hits. It's a lot of open faces, and when I start to struggle with the driver, it's just the same thing. It's kind of those old habits creeping back in. So one of the main things we worked on for 3 years is trying to get width and rotation of my shoulders, just to use the ability that I have to be flexible and use that to give my speed instead of the lag. So it's been a process, but it has been a very easy process that he's made it, and he's been a genius throughout all of it. We still go back and look at our first lesson and what my swing looked like, and I can't believe
Old
it.
Cartersville Country Club. It's the nicest people in the world, right? When you pull up, I loved every time I would pull up there. It just seemed like you made a new friend every time you're in Cartersville. Also, Trevor Lawrence from Cartersville, another Clemson guy.
Clemson legend.
By the way, he needs a little bit of a swing lesson from Scott. I try to get him to go. He's got a lot of things going on in that golf swing. See him in Tahoe every single year. And before we get to Charlie, I have to ask about your putting, because it's statistically, you're one of the best putters on the tour. And when I watch your routine, it seems like you run this program every single time, that it feels like when you click the stopwatch from when you hit the putt, that it's the same. Is that something you practice day in and day out with that routine? And especially when you get into a situation on the 18th at Riv, is that all you were thinking about, was just running your routine?
Yeah. So at Riv, I remember over the last couple of putts, like on the last few holes, it felt to me like I spent 3 minutes over the ball. It felt so slow. And I think that was me trying to slow down and calm down. And then when I look back at the videos, it was completely normal. And I think that maybe is just a muscle memory thing. One of Coach Penley's big things for me when I was a freshman was, we're going to develop a routine, and you're going to do it every time, and you're going to do it now for the rest of your career. And that's kind of stuck with me. I've done the same thing since my freshman year. I think I read the putt the same way.
You get over the ball too. I like how you do that. Are you looking at your line to kind of just check your line, or do you use a line on the ball?
I don't use any alignment aids. I have a Sharpie dot on the top of my putter just so I don't line it up on the toe. I don't care what's on there. I put my ball down so I can see just blank white. I don't want anything. I'm very visual. Have you ever tried
using a line?
Yeah. I can't line it up straight. And then 2, the line always looks wrong. Because I think a lot of my putting, I read it from over the ball, like when I'm about to hit it.
That's interesting. I'm the same way. At least I can... Yeah. I read it from behind, and I'm like, okay, this is where it's going to be. And I get over, and it's like, oh, it's way more. It's amazing.
And it's way more. And I think for the most part, your instincts are right.
Yeah.
And I think one of the few people I've talked to that read putts the same way as me is Jordan Spieth. Like he sees a line flowing on the ground, and he sees an area that he's going to roll it over, and he hits that spot every time, which is pretty insane. I'm not quite that accurate, but I think I see when I'm putting my best, I'm seeing a line going from my ball into the hole, going over multiple spots as kind of some markers. And when the putts are going in, it's a thick line.
Yes. And when you take that last look down at the ball in your head. Do you have that picture, an image in your head of what you're putting to, of that whole line that you just created?
I think kind of my whole process is I read the putt, whatever, figure out my line. And then when I get to address the ball, I take 2 practice swings or 2 practice strokes. And while I'm doing that, I'm figuring out how hard, I'm kind of imagining how hard I'm going to hit the putt.
Yeah.
So that at that point, I'm kind of looking at the hole, back at the ball, back and forth to figure out how hard I'm going to hit it. And then when I get over the ball, all I'm seeing is I trace from the ball into the hole. I see the line and I come straight back, and that's all I'm thinking about is the line.
You're going.
And because the 2 strokes before it, I figured out how hard I want to hit it.
Yeah.
So I have that feel in my hands, and now all I'm focused on is starting it where I want to. And that routine has never changed. The only time it will change is sometimes I see the line so well that I don't want to waste time with a practice stroke because I'm like, I already see it. I don't want it to change.
It's so funny you say that.
Maybe twice a tournament, I'll hop in there and just hit the ball.
And I bet your make rate is 75% plus.
At least. Yeah, it's a joke. Every time I do that, it goes in. It's nuts.
It's like, oh, Jacob's really nervous. He's not taking practice swings this time. Actually, hold the phone. This is going to the bottom of the cup.
Yes. And maybe every now and then in the wind, if the wind dies down, I hit it really quick.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
And actually, I expected to look over to Charlie here to see him working on his putting stroke. He's not, but it's your time. Let's do this short-sided thing. Let's get rolling.
So here we go. I got a mic right here. I'm just gonna. This segment is called short-sighted, although now it's taking on a new meaning. The amount of distance I have between the two of you, and what this is, Jacob, it's a little lightning round. Okay, we like to fire through about 9 questions, get some quick answers. So here's where we're gonna start. Smylie mentioned baseball player growing up. If I hand you a ball right now, what sort of velocity are we looking at on the radar gun?
Oh, that's a big one. I would say first throw, maybe 67. I have no idea. It would be tough. It would hurt.
It's surprised. I did it at the was that a play to the young kids? I like that. I did a state fair in North Carolina and threw it. I thought I threw it really hard. I think I was about 60, 67, about 66.
Maybe I would get maybe 5 more if I got warmed up, but it would hurt the next day.
It was out of ice for about.
You'd be out for 3 weeks. So yeah,
that's right. All right. Second question for you is: read that you were a mathematical science major at Clemson. So I think all 3 of us here have at some point in time hit a drive into a fairway adjacent to the hole that we're supposed to be playing. But I think the 2 of us have never done this. I want to know if you have ever used the Pythagorean theorem to calculate your yardage from the other fairway to the hole.
With all respect to my caddy, I don't think he could figure that out. But not as a pro. I did in college because I hit it really crooked off the tee in college. So I was always figuring out some stuff. And a couple of times with the rangefinder, it makes it way easier. You know, I would shoot the other guys in my group standing, you know, where they are, ask them how far they had. And then especially if there was some trees in the way, like you couldn't shoot the pin, like I would shoot something over here and use the angle. But
we say we're not a math pod a lot of times on the show. I shudder to think of like the things that you've forgotten about math that we've never even learned.
Hold on.
It's amazing.
Let's see if you've forgotten about this. All right. So pi is 3.14. What's the next number?
What do you mean?
After 4, because it keeps going.
Oh, no idea.
Me either.
My mom has a shirt. My mom's a math teacher, and she wears a shirt that is a pi on Pi Day, you know, March 14th. And
coming up, by the way.
Coming up soon,
she knows the number, but I have no idea.
Fantastic. Okay, now, because we're delving into Clemson a little bit, best Clemson football game you've ever been to?
That would have been, let's see. Recently, I took G-Dub to the Clemson Carolina game, and we lost. But it was an absolute blast. I would say
now is this Carolina, South Carolina?
Yeah, there's only one. And
hold on a second.
North Carolina's UNC.
Well, okay. I think they're Scar, but that's that's
yeah. We call them the chickens at school.
That's what we share the same disdain for them. So that's
that game was incredible. There was a Clemson Florida State game the year after I graduated. My wife was still at school at the time, and I was in the student section. They had just got the new the new Jumbotron, the new lights. It was a night game, new speakers. I had goosebumps the entire game. The coolest moment I've ever been in my life. That it was rocking in there. One of the first home games of the year, 8:00 game. We smoked them. It was incredible.
Have you ever run down the hill?
No,
hadn't done it. They might have. You might have to do that this year.
They might have to get you around it. The other thing is on the topic. I want you to estimate how many times in your life you've spelled out CLEMSON.
Yeah, there's sometimes there's an ad in before the end, but we won't say that one. Gosh, it's been thousands. I mean, if you've ever been to a Clemson game, it's
All the
every
time.
first down.
All the time.
And we've had quite a few first downs in the last 6 or 8 years, so it's thousands. Even I heard one actually at Riv on Sunday.
Really?
One of the guys tried to start it, and no one went along with it, but he at least tried.
I went to the last ACC championship game where it was Coastal against Atlantic, where DJU had like one series and we're like, oh, we might win this game. And then Klubnik came in. The amount of times I heard Clemson spelled out, like I think I heard it in my head for weeks, for months. It just was over and over and over again.
So Clemson and Auburn, they opened the season against each other. This would have probably been 7 or 8 years ago, probably. And we all bought Clemson t-shirts for all the Auburn guys. It was on a beach trip with all the guys. And we said that chant over and over and over again because we had a couple Auburn fans that get pretty triggered with that. So my
good.
brother actually still
There we
wears
go.
his Clemson
Honorary.
shirt around.
There we go.
Got an honorary fan.
We'll
We'd love
take
to hear
him.
it.
Yeah, we'll take him.
So doing some recon for this conversation, Jacob, I went on your Instagram. Saw you have like one of those little story tabs, eats. You seem like you might be a little bit of a foodie. Okay.
Yeah, I need to add to that. It's been a while.
Well, so this is what I want to know is that, okay, date night with Haley. All right. You're in charge of cooking. What's the meal you're chefing up? Like, what's the best case meal you can put out there for her?
So I got a big green egg recently from one of the programs I played in, and
You're an egg guy, right?
Big guy.
yeah, and it's incredible with a ribeye. So there's a butcher shop right up the street from my house. I'll go there. Haley recently, the last probably year or so, started to really like some steak. So I'll make like a big ribeye. She always has to have a salad, so we'll do a salad with like goat cheese, some like walnuts, some sort of balsamic. Yeah,
Like
maybe
that.
throw some
Like
sweet
that.
potato in there, and then we'll just pick a veggie. We take it pretty calm at home, but I go nice with the steak. Yeah.
That sounds amazing, right?
Yeah.
I know, I'm like, I want to end it.
Do you hear my stomach? It's literally crumbling over here.
If you
We all-
haven't dinner yet, yeah.
We always have like we split a bottle of kombucha at dinner. It's nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, love that. So I like kombucha with the steak. That's
I mean-
a nice little health spin on it. I'm gonna give that a try.
Probably
I
a
like
little
that.
better with the salad, but by the time
That's
you get to the steak, you're
right.
focused on it. I'm promise.
So I was going to ask you a different question about the Masters, but we brought up a topic. You're from the area, and we've had a number of people come on the show. So we're on the topic of food, and we've had some interesting opinions about the pimento cheese. And I don't want to get you in trouble, but I just want to know, where do you stand on the pimento cheese sandwich?
Yeah, so the pimento cheese at Augusta is good. I've had
Okay,
it before.
likes-
okay.
I'm not a big egg salad guy,
Okay.
but
both.
I think they do quite a bit of pimento cheese in that sandwich. I've got some favorites from the store. I would probably choose a little bit more. Maybe some jalapeno pimento cheese is nice.
Okay. All right.
There's like a Palmetto brand that's South Carolina.
Yes,
That's
know
very
it.
good.
The best.
But yeah, I love pimento cheese. On a burger is special.
Yes.
Melts
I
in
started
there.
putting the potato chips on it at the Masters. Give
I
it a
like
little
that.
crunch.
Yeah, it's a little gummy.
something extra.
Yeah, a little gummy,
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
See that.
but that's our first pro vote for the Masters pimento cheese
I'm in
sandwich.
for
We
it,
like
yeah.
that.
Just need to get
Southern
some more
guy.
Southern guys on this show.
Yeah, if
man.
you ask the Northern, they're like, "What does that even mean?"
And that's a perfect transition, because the next place I want to go is, you're kind of working with it now, but you at certain points in your life had an elite Southern frat swoop going on. I want to know you're the best era you've had for the frat swoop, time in your life, year of school, whatever it was, the best version of that little flow you had going.
Yeah, find somewhere along my Instagram. I won my first state championship, and I looked like a little child, but I think I got like a fresh haircut for the ring ceremony, all this stuff. It's hilarious. I'm wearing like my first Clemson shirt. I just committed. That was like full on Justin Bieber hair time.
Oh.
Yeah,
I follow
back
up.
when it was cool.
Follow up on the swoop. Were you a guy that kept the swoop up with your head like this, or did you
Little hair
use
flicker.
your hair?
No,
hand
I think
to
all
comb it?
the kids that did that got made fun of.
Well, yeah. I
So
mean,
I couldn't do it.
I was one of those
Yeah,
kids.
just a little.
Couldn't do it. Yeah.
I used to have
would've
a
No,
bully.
bullied
when
you.
no
He
one
would've
was
bullied
when no
you
one
if
was
you guys were the
looking,
same
but
era,
dude,
yeah.
yeah, that was like a no-no at my
My
school.
dad always used to give me a hard time, and he's like, "Stop doing that." I'm like, "I can't stop."
Can't stop.
All right, we got a couple more here. The first one I want to know is the golf course you have not played that you most want to play.
We were just at Pebble. I want to play Cypress.
I know a guy.
All right. I think we can. I think
I
we
would
can.
do that one.
We might be able to put in a word for you there.
It's far, but I would do that one.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, Cyber's a good answer. And then this is maybe the most important question we're going to ask you all interview. Do you have a favorite bridge? Like you have to have a favorite bridge.
Should I don't.
You don't have a favorite bridge?
We need to come
I
up
grew
with
up
an answer for you.
I grew up in Greenville. We're 4 hours from the coast. Like we don't have like if we have bridges, it's over a creek, man. Like we don't have a big bridge. They don't have names. I promise you.
I think it's got to be like Swolken Bridge. We got to find you like a golf bridge. So when people ask, I mean, it's right
I'll
there in
take
your
it.
name. You gotta
I'll
be a bridge
adopt
guy.
one.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay. All
down
right.
for it.
Like
but
you adopt a highway, we're going to adopt a bridge.
yeah, I'll take one.
Might be in the middle of nowhere, South Carolina, on the way to the Masters.
Over a creek. Hey, we can name it. We can put a sign up.
That's right. That's right.
They're not named, so we can
the
start it.
Bridgeman Bridge.
There we go.
They're just, it's like a sandwich,
Yeah.
a pimento cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
Perfect. There we go. Well, that's it. That's been short-sighted. I kind of like this version of it.
Yes.
Really
this is
uncomfortably
great.
close to both of you all.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Jacob, congratulations on winning on the PGA Tour.
Thank you.
Much success to you the rest of the year. We can't wait to watch you at all these major championships coming up, Players Championship, and of course, hope to see you in that red, white, blue at the end of the year. And when that's over, I guess good luck in Baton Rouge at the real Death Valley, but kinda, I guess.
Yeah, I'll
see how that goes.
I'll be rooting against you, but we'll see. I'm not too confident right now, but we'll see.
It's who's got the real Death Valley. We took it in Clemson. Clemson takes LSU, and it's
Maybe so.
series is even.
Could start our season off with a nice win.
Should we do CLA and SON one more time?
You're going to make me spell out.
Yeah.
I don't really.
We'll see you next week on the Golf Channel. This has been The Smylie Show.
I listen to this podcast. It's really cool. And
all of our lovely fans and subscribers, but make sure you like and subscribe.
It's cool to see what you guys are doing. I know golf fans appreciate it, but we do too, so please keep it up.
For all the good people of YouTube, like and subscribe.
You guys have some good takes, so I'm happy to come on and shoot the